Hey, welcome to Empowering DIY. Today I wanted to do hopefully a quick video, and I'm thinking this might help a lot of people who have the newer style alarm systems, just like we do. So when we bought this house, we had an existing alarm system already wired into the house. The problem was we didn't have the master code we needed to redo that alarm system. The problem with that is we would have had to buy a whole new board, and it got expensive, and then all the people who monitor it was expensive. So what did we choose? We chose Simplisafe. It worked great. It still does. We like the app. We like the fee that we only pay a month. The base station's easy to deal with. All the other stuff. The one problem I don't like about the alarm system is, as you can see is in my hand, is it has a just a switch and a magnet on the door. Now, I know it looks fine, it is what it is, but I'm just not a big fan of it. One, it just kind of adds to me, a little bit of a tackiness to the door. But then the other thing is, it's in my hand, right? I have the sensor in my hand. The reason is they come with double stick tape, and y'all gotta excuse me, I got a little baby in the background, but empowering DIY times 5 now, right? Anyways, what happens is they come with double stick tape. And you just stick it to the wall, and I took alcohol wipe and wiped it down and everything, but I have children, and most of you that watch this probably do. You'll notice that our kids like to slam doors. I can't help it, but anyways, it fell off, but you can, if you look on the back, you can screw it into the door frame right there. But again, I kind of cringe at the thought of screwing a big old sensor right here. Now, back to what I said at the beginning, our house was originally wired for an alarm system. And I got to thinking one day, all it is a normally closed or normally open switch, and it should react maybe the same way as this, right? So I got to thinking maybe this is a normally open or normally closed switch. And so I got to fooling around with it when I put it back, before I put it back on, and I noticed that every time I set it up to the sensor, it would make. So I was like, well, I know it's a magnet, it's obvious. So I got thinking maybe I can take this switch apart and maybe I can wire it into the original system. So I did do this as a trial already. It wasn't perfect, but I wanted to see if it'd work. These sensors are about 15 bucks. So if you happen to mess one up, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, but anyways, this switch is 15 bucks. You can buy it from Simplisafe, and I realized all it is inside is a magnetic switch, normally open. When you create a closed contact, it makes the alarm think it's closed. Or think it's, the door is closed. So I got to playing with it. And I noticed, and y'all excuse my door, I need to paint it, but right here is our switch, right? Let me try to get down a little bit closer. Right here is a hidden switch, okay? To me, I would much rather have that switch than this up there. So the whole intention is, if I can get rid of this, I don't have to have this on the door, and I can pre-wire it into it. So let's head to where the alarm system is, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm back. I'm in a closet. Hidden away is our alarm panel. And as you can see, there's this blue cable here. Like I said earlier, I already gave this a try. So I'm not trying to give it all away at the beginning of the video, but basically I took some Cat 5 cable. I wired inside here. Found a door switch, and it works. Now hold on, I'm gonna holler for a child. That's what they're good for, right? Help. Hey, Clayton. Clayton. Can you help me? I'm in here. All right, now I'm gonna get Clayton to help me. What I want you to do is I want you to go open the door going into the garage. Now, while he's on the way, as you can see, I got it just wire nutted in there. And when he opens that door, there you go. You see the blue light? Do it again, Clayton. There you go. 2 blinks for when it's closed, 1 blink for when it opens. And that switch reacts just like it would if it was hanging on the door with a magnetic switch on the other side of the door. Good thing about that is you can label all these switches and you can put them all in here. You don't have to change the batteries whenever, you know, they still work just like normal. Everything is normal. You can get back here, change your battery. All right, so now that I showed you how it works, I wanted to talk about how I identified these. Now, the wires, they weren't labeled. As you can see right here, I have, you probably can't see that. Yeah, I know you can't see that. Right here on this wire I wrote back door. And what I was doing is I was actually holding this switch. I would wire nut it. I'd wire nut this switch into each one of these wires. All these wires are inputs. So you have fire, you know, smoke alarm, you have, you know, front door, back door, side door, garage door, whatever you want. And then you have, you know, some of the stuff's easy to figure out, like this. This is the phone, so I didn't have to worry about those. And then if you look closely, all these down here, I know you can't look closely, you can't see there. Down here on the bottom of this board, right here, it was saying zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and so forth. Now I noticed over here, these were all power wires and AC wire, you know, AC voltage and stuff, which I have disconnected. I disconnected the battery, I don't use it anymore. I disconnected the AC power, I don't use it anymore. So I had it nice and secure, no power in here to worry about. And basically I just started pulling off the ones that I knew I would use. So I'm going to use these still, these green and yellows, these black and red and black, and this red and black. And all that was trial and error. Don't get frustrated, it does take a minute, but you can get it. So let me go to the garage and let's show you how I did the switch. I'll be right back. All right, so I've never worked in front of a camera, or behind the camera you'd say, like this, so bear with me. This might be a jumbled up mess. So basically took it off the wall, or it fell off. Can't say I took it off. And we just have a box, right? So we need to access the switch inside. Just got a standard screwdriver. While I'm getting that started, I wanted to, you know, let you know you do have to do a little bit of soldering. You don't have to. The first switch that I did was a trial, and I didn't solder it. I just wrapped the wire around real tight with some needle nose pliers, but it's not as dependable. You know, it could work its way loose, or you know, if it started creating a short right there and you're away from home, you know, you definitely don't want an alarm to go off and, you know, you freak out and send the cops or whatever to your house, all because of a short on there. So I highly suggest soldering it. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and get my soldering iron hot. And I highly suggest, oops, see, I don't even know how to work behind the camera, kicking stuff. I highly suggest getting a helping hands. These things are amazing. Buy them at Harbor Freight, 10 bucks. Got a magnifying glass if you need it. But the biggest thing is it has 2 alligator clips. If you have to, you can clamp that down to your workbench. Hold your work. You know, all this stuff adjusts. Most of the time I twist my magnifying glass out of the way, but you know, one of these days I may need it. So anyways, let's go ahead and access the thing. I just took a flathead screwdriver. You can pop this up a little bit, slide that back. Case comes off. I'm not going to use these anymore. Now, if you want to, you can hang these inside that panel and hang this on top of it. But what I'm going to do is probably Velcro the front of these or the back of it inside there, so I can pull it off easily and change the battery. So take your battery out. You don't want any energy on anything. Well, it's in the way anyways, but all right. So inside here, this is kind of snapped inside here. If you want to pay attention, as you see the little thumb tab here and the spring here and a metal clip here. The first time I tried this, I actually accidentally put this in back together, or backwards. So try to pay attention to which way you put this in, and I guarantee you sometime in this video you will see me putting it in backwards, probably because I said that. So what I do is I just take my screwdriver and kind of just pry it out a little bit. I could have used a smaller screwdriver. Like I said, I could have used a smaller screwdriver. Get it up inside there and just pop it out. Easy peasy. Alright, like I said, see how it's the metal clip there, spring here. You'll want this facing that way. It will snap in that way. Ask me how I know. But you want it to go that way. So set it aside. And another note on that, you got to put this piece back in for two reasons. The first reason, it holds the battery in. Second reason is it keeps your serial number. So if you go to work on the sensor, it'll tell you what serial number it is or whatever. It's best to keep that around. All right, next step, you want to carefully pry this out. So there's a button that goes right here in this hole. You don't want to lose it like I have. On the last one, it fell out, and I dropped it somewhere. I didn't know it was there, so I dropped it and I didn't know where it went. It was so small I couldn't find it. Anyways, this part you want to be careful. You want to just slowly find a good spot and try to pry it on out. Once it pops out, you know, you can get it out. Just be careful. There it is. All right, so you try to pay attention to orientation. You got your little LED light here, or the little program button, it goes here. You don't have to keep that. If you just take a pin you can push in there, whatever, that's up to you. So set that aside. All right, here's all the magic. If you look, this is on a GoPro, so I apologize, it won't focus, but inside here is a switch. Now if you look carefully, which you can't see it, I'm sorry, but inside here, when that magnet hits that, it pulls that switch closed and it makes these two pieces connect, right? So what that means is this is called a normally open switch, as well as the door switches are normally open switches. When you close it or push the button or whatever, it creates a closed switch. When you open the door, it creates it open again. That's exactly how this is. That's exactly how the door switches are. So that's why it works. Cat 6 cable. Very easy and cheap to get. You can go to Lowe's, Home Depot and buy it. This is, like I said, it's a resistance. There's no power going through it, so it's nothing to be worried about on that end. You want to, now the last time I did this, I left the casing on it. As you've seen in the first part of this video, the casing was on it. This time I'm going to take the casing off, and the reason is probably not during this video, after the video, I'm going to go in and I'm going to mount all those inside that box and clean them up, make them all pretty. So I just pull me a section out. This is, you know, it's a twisted pair, so it's brown and brown white, or white brown, however you want to say it, doesn't matter. What you want to do, I'm going to leave it twisted because I think it'll look neater inside the box once I mount it. I'm going to take it, I'm going to strip just a little bit of it, like that, right? Take, you know, the first one strips easy, especially on camera. The second one, you know, make it look not so easy. So had to get the wire stripper out. Now you want a little extra. You want to try to wrap it around that contact. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this wire, I'm gonna push it underneath. I don't know if you can see that, but it's underneath. Then I'm gonna twist it back towards it, like that. And I'm gonna hold up on it, and I'm gonna pinch it together as tight as I can. Alright, and the reason I pinched it is because I don't want to get this switch too hot. I don't want to get this board too hot. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a dab of solder. I'm actually gonna flip this around this way. Ah, it broke off. See, some of this stuff you just can't get frustrated. Just keep trying. I'm over here trying to do stuff on camera. Is a little bit different than doing it on yourself, and I will never tell you I'm perfect. Far from it. So got that as tight as I can. Take this, flip it over, get it as tight as I can. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna carefully put this in my helping hands, and it's gonna act two ways. I'm hoping it's gonna act as a heat sink. I have it on the piece of metal. I'm hoping it's gonna act as a heat sink to keep some of the heat off of the board and just put it on there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load my soldering iron, my dirty soldering iron, really dirty soldering iron. Hold on. I'm back with a clean soldering iron. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load my iron up, and I'm gonna just drop enough to kind of hold that in place, because like I said, we don't want I don't want to get this board too hot. So all right, let that cool a little bit. And of course I missed it. Goodness. All right, I think I got it. I think so. I hope so. Let's see. Try to let it cool off a little bit. Looks pretty good. It ain't my best soldering in the world, but it did it. All right, so to get this back in, we're gonna have to cut this piece a little bit, and I'll show you why here in a second. What I'm gonna do is wrap this over. Remember the button here goes there, and then your battery up, right? So I'm gonna flip this in like this. Now I try not to push too hard, but you will feel kind of a little bit of tension because it snaps in place. And you just kind of got to work with it a little bit. I think I messed up and got the wire in right there. Pull that out and check it. Well, I feel committed now, so let's I'm just gonna go with it. All right, remember, metal part goes against this little square part that goes here, but as you can see, there's really not no room for the wires there. So I'm gonna cut this corner off right there. That should be enough room to, yeah. See, I just gave it just enough room for the wires to come out of there. And then, you know, that's it. Back together. Throw the battery back in. Help if I put it in the right way. Like that. Now what we'll do is... Now the cool thing is, if you want to test it, you can test it right here on the bench and make sure you didn't mess it up before you go wire it up. All you gotta do, if you watch right here, did you see the light? Yeah, I think you seen the light. It worked. So now my second door switch is done. All I gotta do is wire it in place, and you can go two different ways. You can go two different ways with this. You can do like a terminal block, which would be ideal. You know, you just drop these two leads onto the top of your terminal block, and then your door switch coming into the panel on the bottom. So if you ever got a fool with this, all you gotta do is unwire it. Right now, all I have is wire nuts. I probably will order some Amazon terminal switch or terminal strips and make it look a lot fancier. But for time, this is what I'm doing right now. It doesn't look as pretty, but it's hidden in a closet. So, I mean, it's not perfect, but who cares? It's in a closet. I do like everything to be like neat, you know, when I do wiring and stuff. I don't keep any of my tools neat, but I like to keep wiring neat. So I'll do it eventually. So let me go put that in the closet and I'll show you how it works, and that'll wrap up this video. Hold on one second. All right, so I'm back. Kind of dark in the closet. Anyways, like I said, I already wrote on here. This is my back door. Eventually I'm going to take this board out. I'm going to take this out and I'm going to put some terminal strips in here to where I can hang these. I was thinking maybe it would look neat if I hung these like along the wall here, or along the door, to where when I close it they're out of sight, but then when I open it, you know, you can see them, and then this mark on here, you know, front door, back door, whatever, to where if one's giving you a fit, you should know which one it is really quick. Especially with Simplisafe, they tell you which one it is. So if it says front door not working, you open the door and you change. It'll tell you when the battery's dead too. So then you just open the door, pop it open, change the battery. It's cool. Anyways, until then, I'm just gonna set these inside here. So what I'm doing, colors don't matter. Like I said, it's a normally open switch, so colors don't matter. My fingers aren't working. Ah, dropped it. My fingers don't work.
Do you need help?
Alright, I do need help. What I want you to do is go open the back door. Alright, so I got it wired up. 2 wire nuts. Now what we're watching for is when he opens the back door, we want to see the blue light work. Yep. Now close it. Perfect. So we are good to go. Now I can just tuck that inside here. And like I said, for the sake of the time of this YouTube video, I'm not gonna clean all this up. The whole point of this video was how to make that switch work. So I will clean this up, maybe do an update on it later how it looks, but for now it works. I'm gonna velcro it in here, clean up the wires, and this switch, which is here, I'm actually gonna redo it. I'm gonna solder it and pull the casing off, and just to keep a small, like I said, this was my test piece, so it's just it's not the way it should be. So that's it. Ready? All right, so all that put together, ultimately what I tried to achieve was to get rid of the door switch. So that can go, it's gone. Now we can clean the door up, get the switch stuff off of there, and we're back to a smooth door. And if you listen carefully, when you open the door, my chime still works. So I think it's just a cleaner install. It looks better, and you're utilizing the switches that the homeowners spent so much money on putting into the house. So I'm pretty sure they spent a good bit of money putting those hidden switches in the door. So at least I feel good being able to use those. So I'm gonna close out the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope it helped you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and make sure y'all subscribe and like this video. Thank y'all. You could probably hear that in the background.
Take it here.
Okay. No, she's mad. Anyway. It's in my hand, right?